that's what coaching is. It's not about the X's and O's, it's about actually sitting with young professionals or staff members and helping them through the challenges of their life circumstances. And that resonates with me. That's something that I enjoy doing. It's something that makes me feel whole. So they get more of me because I'm in that headspace and heart space. I'd learned through observation that the senior coach or the senior leader or the person in charge had all the answers, that they were always right, that they should be always respected and listened to. So that was what I believed I needed to be, especially when there were challenging times, to be the person that took responsibility, that had all the answers. I probably learnt through that that's a bloody tough existence. I do a pretty good job of putting on this facade of being bulletproof, I suppose, and I think I'm pretty good at that, but everyone has a tipping point. The balance was just not there in my life. I'd be out the backyard kicking the footy with my boys, but my mind would be back at the footy club. For me, the personal growth underneath that role was important. So sort of, I reckon 14 when I started sort of popping my head up out of that sort of challenge, the all-consuming feeling of being a senior coach and the environment and the position that we're in. Just coming out of that in 14, 15, 16, I actually went through and unpacked a lot of why I see the world or the challenges that it presents the way that I did. And largely it was going back to the relationship with Dad, how I viewed myself as a person, and where I felt my value came from. And that helped me understand what sort of a father I was, what sort of husband I was, what sort of coach I was, what sort of friend I was. So that sort of journey was end of 14, 15, 16, and then through to 17 where the review there. And by the time we got to the review and performance, and I got to the point halfway through 17 where I'd actually consolidated, I probably won't have the honour of coaching or the opportunity, or to be able to coach beyond this year. But I decided just to jump in and say, well, if this is going to be the last half of a season that I've got, then I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, absolutely, and put all of these maybe lessons and debunk some of these things that I'd learned and just do it the way that I felt was most authentic to me. I actually enjoyed my coaching a lot more when I sort of, dropped the facade a little bit and be more authentic. Two things that I always wanted to do. One was to win lots of games of footy. The second thing was to have people leave the club better than they walked in, because what I'd thought I'd witnessed was an environment that triggered people's insecurities at times that was actually not beneficial for their well-being. I wanted to change the footy club when I went in as senior coach. I wanted to change the way we viewed ourselves, to change the way we operated day to day. I wanted to go from a chest-beating, arrogant, top-down, big boy sort of personality to a more humble, go about your business, embracing diversity, embracing everyone, and then go through this journey, walk through this journey together, and then be a lead on the field as well. And funnily enough, I think that I was actually part of doing that, which I'm really proud about. And I think sometimes that's probably harder to do than it is to win a flag. I'd walk around telling everyone how good they were doing, or asking them how they were, checking in on their Instagram feed from the night before. They went out to dinner, how's their 6-month-old boy sleeping? The big difference for me was I spoke a whole lot less to players and staff about football, even though that's the job, that's what we're there to do. I'd walk around the environment just checking in on people and seeing how they were going and having what would seem like incidental conversation, but I'm genuinely wanting to know how they are, whether real issues in their life are getting better or getting worse. How can I help? Is there something we can do to support you through that? So those actions alone and those questions alone and that intent alone is enough to continue to build on this relationship of honouring the person. If you're in a leadership role or if you're in a position of influence, I think the most important thing that you can do is to show that you are not bulletproof, to show that you are human, and to facilitate and allow within your environment that it's okay to not be perfect and it's okay to not be a 10 out of 10 all the time, and that you'll be embraced and supported through that rather than judged and challenged. And if you can actually be brave enough and vulnerable enough as a leader to show this, that you're going to have your days when you struggle, that you're going to have some days when you're not thinking as clearly as you'd like to be, and then to own it, and then to be able to ask for help, to basically put your hand up when you're drowning. If you can create that environment and make that as fundamental to your environment as anything else that you've got, well, then you are going to provide an environment that is going to build mental health resilience. And I've had players come back to me and say, like, what's up? Because you weren't really with us today at the level that we've known you. And then once you have a player, or it's even a young player who come and speak to the senior coach about that, well then I reckon then you got your environment where you want it. Because if everyone is looking out for everyone, how much better can you bulletproof an environment for mental health and emotional health than to have everyone looking out for everyone? What a great place to be. For community coaches, for junior coaches, for anyone that feels like they're in that position, bring your passion and bring your drive and bring your want to win, no doubt. But you don't have to be bulletproof. You don't have to have all the answers. And I think if you show that to the people that you're involved in and your players, you will build a depth of relationship that is going to help you coach them and mentor them and lead them in a way that you never thought was possible.